All right. Well, hey, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well today. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Visit St. Pete-Clearwater for making this video available to each and every one of you. This is a video of a series of videos that will be released focusing on digital marketing opportunities for your small business. Today, we are going to be unpacking Google My Business fundamentals, so basic information about your Google My Business page. Again, this is the first part of a series of videos that will cover Google My Business, Yelp, TripAdvisor, and other opportunities to enhance your visibility for your business online. My name is Josh Ray. I am the program specialist at Miles Partnership. Miles Partnership, we are a strategic marketing company focused solely on tourism and travel marketing. This workshop is brought to you again by the Visit St. Pete-Clearwater in an effort to help yours and our business community maximize their exposure digitally as visitors return to the area, as they return to your destination and your business. As part of the program Miles Partnership, we've worked with more than 170 destinations in support. We've audited over 62,000 business profiles, as well as we directly manage more than 75 Google My Business pages. So quite the experience in the Google My Business space. And what we've done is taken the best practices of the top performing business profiles and rolled into those best practices into this presentation and the second part of the Google My Business presentation for you as well. And as we all know, confidence is critical right now. There's a lot of desire for travelers and consumers to want to be able to travel, especially coming out of the months of March, April, May, June. But safety is at the top of mind for everyone, and they're looking for information that they can trust before they choose to visit. And your Google My Business page is a fantastic place to start for that. So what we're going to get into is the business profile, what it is, where it appears, how and why it appears the way that it does, as well as using the two different tools like the web browser function for Google My Business, as well as the app for Google My Business. And then we'll get into basic information, so making sure that you're claimed, verified, and then you've got your basic information like your name, address, phone number, as well as additional tools and resources and features inside of Google My Business, making sure that you're using and utilizing those features for you. So one of the questions we want to ask is, what do the best performing business profiles look like inside of Google My Business? But before we even get in there, we want to unpack exactly what is a business profile inside of Google. And what we're looking at here are a couple different examples, one of the museum and a couple different restaurants here. And these are the business profiles for those individual businesses. Basically, the business profile is everything that Google knows about your business placed into one card. So you can pull up your business profile either in Google Search or inside of Google Maps. Just go up to the search bar and type in the name of your business. Likely Google will go ahead and automatically populate your business name, in which case go ahead and click on that, and that will then bring up the business profile. So remember, two ways to bring up the business profile, one in Google Search, the other inside of Google Maps. You can also do that on mobile. And your business profile is the single largest source of organic exposure for your business online. So it's important that you not only are aware of your business profile, that it exists inside of Google, but also that you've claimed and verified your listing. And we'll get into how to do that here in a little bit. Just to back up that point and how important your business profile is for your online exposures, this is an example of the Visitor Center in Philadelphia, where their total online audience was over 25 million in 2018. That's including website visits, social media views, search exposures, as well as maps exposures. 22 or over 22 million of those exposures came from Google's products and services. So Google Maps, Google Search, Travel Guide, and many more Google products that fall under their kind of travel ecosystem, as we like to refer to it. That made up for 85% of their total online audience. So it's important for the owner, the manager, whoever's in charge of that visitor center to make sure that they are managing that listing, because there's a lot of eyes, a lot of impressions coming into that listing. And it would be a mistake, it would be a loss if they had incorrect information or maybe information on there that was deterring visitation, low quality photos that were possibly deterring people from visiting. So it's in your best interest to make sure that you are that you've first claimed your business and you're managing it effectively and optimizing consistently. In terms of where the information gets shared out beyond Google Maps and search, there's a number of other products, kind of like I just mentioned, in that travel ecosystem. Some of them shown here, like the Google Assistant, Travel Guides, Hotel Finder, and more. Those other tools and resources are pulling information from your business profile wherever your business is appearing in those other tools. So the business profile is the source of information and content for your business, and those other products are going to pull from that, which is another reason why it's important for you to make sure that you've claimed, verified, and then optimized your listing. And growing importance of Google Maps. So a couple bullet points here worth noting. The Maps product generates 3 billion direct connections between businesses and users per month. And this information is coming in from a survey put on by Focusrite. Another bullet point showing that 79% of consumers who use navigation apps as part of leisure travel use Google Maps. And then 67% of survey respondents cited use of Maps Explore Nearby feature as part of researching or booking a recent trip. And if you're not familiar with that Explore Nearby tool, what you can do is take a second, pull up Google Maps on your phone, type in St. Pete Beach inside of Google Maps, and what will happen is at the bottom, Google will bring up the Explore Nearby. And then there's going to be a number of different options to click on, things like restaurants, things to do, museums. Those will all be highlighted. And you can explore those different businesses inside of that destination specifically. So the Explore Nearby tool is a great feature. I love using it when I'm traveling to new places. And I would recommend checking it out to see if Google's actually already recommending your business inside of that tool. So now we're going to talk about the local pack. And the local pack is essentially the result of a search for a keyword plus a location. It's the top 3 search results when somebody performs a search inside of Google search. So when I was building this deck, I typed in restaurant St. Pete, and these were the top 3 options that came up for that specific search query. So it's in everyone's interest to optimize their listing in a way that it will then appear in this local pack. And what we're going to do is talk about how to help work towards that. There's not a surefire way other than paying, which you can use Google local ads to do that. In that case, if you pay to play, your business will appear in certain and specific searches, and it will appear at the top of the local pack. So you have these 3 organic listings with your paid ad showing as an ad at the top here of the local pack. So there is an option to pay to play, but what we're going to talk about today is what you can do organically, so it doesn't cost you money, to optimize your listing in a way that you'll have a better shot at appearing in those top 3 search results. And like I mentioned, it's a huge source of exposure for your business. As we know, people are pretty lazy, and so therefore they're probably going to pick from one of the 3 top options here shown rather than clicking on more places. So again, it's in your best interest to do a little bit of work on your listing so that it will hopefully influence your business appearing in the top 3 search results from here on out. So how did these 3 profiles appear there? Why are they ranking in the top 3? Well, it really comes down to 3 factors, but we're going to talk about 2 of those factors today. So we've got distance and relevance. We're going to talk about prominence in the second part of this webinar series. So we'll get into what that looks like. Essentially, prominence is what your business is known for. What are people saying about it? What kind of conversations are happening inside of questions and answers and reviews? That all plays a major factor as well in how your business profile appears. But first off, we're going to talk about Google My Business Signals, which is the #1 ranking factor in how a business profile appears in that local pack. And Google My Business Signals essentially means having a complete and up-to-date optimized profile. So is the business taking advantage of all of the tools and features available? Do they have all of the content and information filled out in their profile? That is the #1 thing that you can do to make sure that your business ranks higher inside of search. So better business profiles drive more exposure as well as more engagement. So what that looks like is an up-to-date profile is 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. It's 70% more likely to attract location visits, as well as 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. I think we could probably all agree that the goal would be to have more people stepping foot in our business, as well as spending more money. And by having an up-to-date profile, which is not that hard to do, we'll get into what that looks like. but it doesn't take that much work. But I think we could all agree that we'd like to have more and more people spend money in our businesses. So the goal here today from our end is we want to help you maximize exposures and engagement for your business profile because it benefits everyone. It benefits your business, just like we saw, having an up-to-date profile can drive more visitation as well as more spend inside of your business. It benefits the visitor. So visitors can trust and use Google's products to get the information they're looking for to then be able to make a visit to your business, make a visit to the overall destination, which again gets into helping the destination as a whole. So more visitation and more positive perception of the destination while trip planning online using Google's tools and products. So some additional goals for today is to inspire confidence with travelers, and so really give you the information that you can best equip your business with and be able to share information that can establish that confidence for travelers and future customers. So one is to establish safety, two is to share that information, and three is to grow visibility. Google My Business is a fantastic place to start in terms of kicking off that confidence or inspiring that confidence with travelers and customers. Some information here from Destination Analyst shows just what kind of information is specifically sought out, especially for local businesses. What we're highlighting here is hours restriction and closures information for local businesses at 43.6%. People want to know if businesses are open. Obviously, these are trying times, interesting times for all of us, especially for businesses and trying to navigate what being open looks like, sanitation practices, closures, temporary closures, things like that. And as a consumer, we're also interested in seeing what information is out there so we can best plan a trip or so we can visit our favorite shop across town. And so you're able to share that kind of information from Google. Again, we'll get into kind of all of the opportunities available for you to then share that and get that information out there online. So first step would be to download the Google My Business app. You can also use the web browser function of Google My Business. Once you have the app, if you're already connected to your business profile, just log into the Gmail account that has access to the claimed listing, and then you'll be able to manage your Google My Business information on the go. This is helpful for a couple different reasons. There's a tool that we'll talk about in the second part of this video series, but that is going to be the messaging tool, and that's only available inside of the Google My Business app. You will not be able to engage with messages inside of the web browser GMB page. So like I mentioned, some of the features do vary, the messaging being one of them. The processes is doing other things inside of GMB does change from web to mobile, but there's not really one, I wouldn't say the app is better than the web browser function, but I would recommend downloading the app and seeing if it works well for you, especially if there's a review that you want to respond to instantly. That's a good example of why I'd want to have the mobile app, and that way, as an owner, or as a manager, I could respond to that review or maybe the question more promptly via my mobile phone. So now we're taking a look at the GMB dashboard. I'll probably refer to the GMB dashboard quite a bit here. That's all of the different tabs off the left. So you've got the home, posts, info, insights, reviews, and more. That's where you'll start with making sure that you've got all of your updated information included, as well as photos uploaded and things like that. We'll get into more details here in a little bit, as well as in the second part of this video series. So kicking it off with verification and completeness. So first step is make sure your business is claimed. So I'd recommend taking a second. If you don't know the answer to that question, go ahead and go to Google search or go to Google Maps and type in the name of your business. If you scroll down on the business profile for your business and you see claim this business, so that shield and check mark icon, go ahead and click on that. You'll follow a series of prompts, and then you will then have access to a claimed listing. However, if you do not see that shield and check mark icon, that means your business has already been claimed. And in that case, if you don't know who it was claimed to, that's a bit of an issue. That's okay. We'll get into how to go about resolving that as well. So if you saw that claim this business on your business profile, go ahead and click it. The other thing you can do is go to business.google.com/add. When you go to /add, so ADD, you will then sign into your Google account. If you do not have one, make sure that you do have one. So you have to set up a Google account or a Gmail account. And then you can go about claiming your listing or even creating. So this is the process in claiming, creating, as well as looking to see who might have possibly claimed your business from the get-go. So once you sign into Google, you'll type in the name of your business. As you're typing in the name of your business, go ahead and click on that auto-populated response here. So in this case, the catch of the Pelican. That will then take us to the information for the Pelican, to the confirm. If you're adding a new place that doesn't exist on Google yet, follow these same prompts. What you're going to do is create the listing and claim it at the same time. And lastly, if you are looking to see who might have claimed, as you type out the name of your business, click on that auto-populated response, select next, and then Google will say, this listing has already been claimed by, and give you a 2-letter hint to the email that claimed that listing. Now, sometimes the 2-letter hint for that email is enough of a hint to say, oh, that was a previous owner, that was a previous employee or manager. Other times it's not enough information, which is not that helpful. So what you'll have to do is actually go into following the prompts that follow that for you to then request access to the claimed listing. So you have to work with Google on that one. If you run into any issues in terms of claiming and verifying, the Visit St. Pete-Clearwater team is able to assist you with that. So we can talk about that a little bit more. But if you do run into any problems there, reach out to their team. They're a fantastic resource for claiming and verification, and they can help you get sorted in that. So if you have any issues with that, please let them know. Okay. Like mentioned, if the business did exist, what we're going to do is just confirm the information. So Google will already have the address information in there. You can confirm that. If the business didn't exist and you're creating one, fill out the address information. Again, if the business existed, then you're confirming the category. If it didn't, add that in there, and you'll probably notice there's a trend here in terms of either confirming the information or adding it in if it's missing. So step number 7, click next. Step number 8, I recommend clicking yes. That way you can stay in the know on what's happening with your business profile, maybe specific personalized tips for your profile and recommendations on ways you can improve that listing. And then number 9, just let you know what you then get by verifying. So verification is the second part of all of this. So once you have a claimed listing, you'll be able to manage your listing. You'll have access to it, but you will not have access to a fully verified listing, which would then give you the ability to respond to reviews, check your insights, and more. So it is worth getting verified. It's the next step. It's kind of the finishing step to making sure that your business is completely up to date and recognized by Google. It can also help you appear in more search results inside of Google Search and Google Maps. So it's worthwhile going about getting verified. There's a bunch of different options to then get verified. Google will show you. Sometimes it's a phone number, sometimes it's an email, and sometimes those options are really easy. So I'd recommend if you get the email option or the phone number and Google can call you, go about trying that. But if that doesn't work, or maybe you try the postcard and you didn't receive the postcard, the Visit St. Pete-Clearwater team can also assist you with that verification. So remember that if these options do not work for you, which is pretty common, don't feel like you're a unicorn in that sense, and Google hasn't been able to help you out. So maybe it's something wrong with your business. None of that. It's a pretty common issue to run into, in which case Visit St. Pete Clearwater has the resources available to be able to help you in terms of getting verified. So it's important, claim your business first. Second, make sure that you get it verified. If you have any troubles with that, let the team at Visit St. Pete Clearwater, let them know, and they can help assist you with that. Once you have a claimed and verified listing, go about checking your basic information. And this might kind of seem a little bit redundant or silly, but you want to make sure that your business name, first off, is spelled correctly. You have capitals in the right place, spacing in the right place. Oftentimes we'll come across businesses that have misspelling, or maybe it looks different than kind of how their branding goes. If there's capitals in certain places, there shouldn't be. So go ahead and make sure that your business name is up to date, it's current, it's correct. Along with that, your address, phone numbers, websites, hours, and descriptions. The reason we recommend starting here is that if your business profile has gone unmanaged for a long period of time, anything over 3 months really, local guides and Google can be a source of information, as well as edits to your listing. And sometimes those edits go through, and they might go through even though they are incorrect. And you don't want any incorrect information out there about your listing, because remember, people are looking to Google to find information that they can trust before visiting a business. And so if they call a number from your listing and it goes to a signal that says, the business does not exist, or there's no one on the other line here, that's going to be an issue. And same thing goes if they pull up your address and they drive to the address and find out that they're in an empty lot, that's going to be an issue for visitation to your business. So check your basic information, make sure none of that has changed. Start there, and then we'll get into a couple of additional opportunities here for expanding information. Hours are critically important, especially right now. So a lot of businesses have changed their open hours, their practices, hours of operation, and they've forgotten to note that inside of Google. So start with Google, check your hours, make sure they are up to date and current. Google showed a trend for a rise in 300% growth in search interest for Open Now. That was back in 2017. People want to know if businesses are open. And one of the ways that you can ensure that and help drive visitation to your business is by making sure that your hours are correct and up to date. Now, during our processes of auditing 62,000 different business profiles, we found that 53% of the incomplete listings that we audited were missing hours. So it's a pretty common thing to miss. Do not be one of those businesses that doesn't include hours. If you're confused about maybe what hours to include, always just include the hours that you're in operation, so your business hours. So like if you do by appointment only, but you typically only book appointments from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., put those hours, because there's not an appointment only option. So that's a pretty common question that we get, but make sure that you're just including the hours that you would operate. So if you're 24 hours, you can go ahead and include that. If you're from 7 to 4 or 8 to 5 or anything along those lines, you can go ahead and include that information there. Now, there's a separate section inside of the Google Info tab in GMB for special hours, which is directly below the business hours. This is for holidays or maybe certain days that you're doing construction or other work that might be influencing the hours for that day. Go ahead and mark that. That way people can have the most up-to-date and current information. This is, again, important for holidays, especially if your hours are the same. What will happen is if you haven't marked your special hours on a holiday, even if they're the same as they would normally be, Google might not deliver that information, or might not confidently deliver that information to the consumer. So there will typically be like holiday notes inside of the special hours. So we see that here for Easter and Memorial Day. You can confirm your hours for those dates, do that for holidays, and then any other day that you might have some different hours showing, okay? And then additionally, beyond special hours, there's a more hours function as well. More hours was created back in June to kind of help businesses apply different attributes and different hours to those attributes, especially post-COVID-19, where there's more of a focus on takeout, drive-through, senior hours, pickup only, things like that. Businesses can select those. So some of the attributes work really well for certain business types, whereas other business types might not be able to utilize any of these. So what we would recommend doing is clicking on more hours, that little pencil off to the right there, and seeing if there's any opportunities available for you to check out. Okay. Beyond that, if you are a hotel or a lodging property, you can apply check-in and check-out times as well. This is another fantastic way to go about just including more information inside of your profile. It's not as straightforward as just adding a special hour or more hours. And so what you'll have to do is follow these prompts here. So you'll sign into Google My Business, go to your page, click on hotel attributes, and click on policies and payments. And then there's a drop-down menu to change your check-in and check-out time. And that will then show on your business profile. So it's just another way to expand information. we would recommend going about doing that if you are a hotel or lodging property of any kind, including that information there. Now, service areas. This is one of the ways that you can influence your business appearing in more search results. So earlier on, when we were talking about the 3 factors, distance, relevance, and prominence. Distance, you can't really influence too much if you have a brick and mortar store, right? You're limited to that physical location for where your business is located. But if you're a service area type business, you can help influence your business appearing in more searches because you can list multiple different areas that you service. I believe you're able to select up to 20 different service areas. Those can be counties, towns, cities, and states. Just make sure that you are only selecting regions and areas that you do service. Now, if you're creating a new listing, maybe you're watching this and you're just trying to get information, and then you're going to go create your business listing afterwards. That's totally fine. Just note that during that process, you can select a service area rather than a physical address. This is great for businesses that operate out of their home, but or their business admin is out of their home, but then their business operates elsewhere. You can also select zip codes during that setup process. Now, once you get into your GMB and your business has been set up, you won't be able to set up zip codes. So zip codes has to happen at the creation of your business profile. Now, again, you can select up to 20. Go about doing that. That can help your business, help influence your business showing up in additional search results. Now we're going to talk about that relevance factor. So what can you do? What information can you apply to your business profile to be more relevant, to appear in more searches? Well, expanding the information available is where you want to start. So beyond having your basic information like your address, phone number, name, website, that all included, setting up additional categories and attributes can help expand that information inside of your profile. Currently, there's just under 4,000 US English categories. Doesn't mean you can select all 4,000. You're able to select up to 10, so it'll be 1 primary category and 9 additional categories. And as you can see, there's quite a specific array of categories available. So these are some interesting examples that you could apply. Obviously, you're probably not going to be able to serve or provide all of these different services. One of the ones that always gets me every time is that cat hostel. I'm curious if that's a hostel for cats where they can go and stay. It's kind of like a little getaway, or maybe perhaps it's just a hostel with a lot of cats that are hanging out. So if you have any answers, maybe you can supply me with what that looks like. I would love to know what that actually means. Maybe you stayed at one. In that case, I would love to, again, know what a cat hostel experience looks like. Now, in terms of adding relevant categories, it's a great way to expand where your business shows up. It's also another fantastic way to get access to additional features. And we'll take a look at an example here in a minute what that looks like. But remember, you are able to select 1 primary category and 9 additional categories. So make sure that that first primary category is the best option available. Just recently, I was working with a business, they're photography media company, but they specialize in commercial photography, not just photography. And so in that case, I had that business owner select commercial photography as the primary category, and then everything else like photography, wedding photography, portrait photography, all of that as additional categories. And that's just another way for that business to then expand the amount of information available. So they'll end up in more search results as people are getting more and more specific in their searches. So another way to expand that information is to include all of the attributes available to your business. So that shows up in the info tab inside of Google My Business. Click on the attributes or highlights tab, and then you can select everything that is available inside of your business. Now, in response to COVID-19, Google had added and has added new attributes for business categories in late May. So things like curbside pickup, no contact delivery, dine-in, as well as some virtual offerings like online classes, online estimates, online appointments. Those are all attributes available for certain business types. Now, you might not see those attributes, and that has to do with what kind of business category you're set up under. So a restaurant will have different attributes than a golf course, and a bowling alley will have different attributes than a hotel. Okay. And attributes influence the visibility in specific types of search results and can change the appearance of your listing by highlighting information that you've added. So here we're looking at the Google Maps app, and there are actually specific attributes that people can click on when they're looking at a specific region on the map, and Google will supply results based off of the businesses that have applied those attributes. So you're kind of seeing an example of that here with Cheesecake Factory and Freshie. Okay. When it comes to attributes, hotels have the most. And so if you're a hotel lodging partner, take the time, might take a minute or two, but we recommend taking the time to actively go in and check all of the attributes available. As I mentioned, some businesses might not have that many attributes available. Like a golf course is going to have a very limited amount of attributes available compared to a hotel. So it all depends on how you're set up as a category inside of Google My Business. That kind of dictates what you have available to you. Now, menus, services, and products, another great way to expand the content as well as information from your business profile. So beyond basic information, attributes, and categories, menus, services, and products is another way to expand information and content from your business profile. Now, as mentioned, your category dictates what you have access to and what you don't. In this example that we see here, where the primary category for this business profile is hotel, before they were just a hotel, they did not have access to the services feature, which we're going to look at here in a minute. Once they selected event venue and wedding venue inside of their additional categories, that then gave that business the ability to select the services or utilize the services feature inside of Google My Business. So remember, it's important to set up your primary category with the best definition of what your business does, and then set up additional categories that might help expand not only exposure for your business profile, but also expand the features, tools available inside of Google My Business. So when it comes to including a menu, this is what the menu will essentially look like inside of Google My Business. Take the time to copy the information. All you need is the title of the dish, a description, and then the price point. This is helpful if people are looking for specific dishes. Maybe they're Googling lobster dinner, St. Pete-Clearwater. They will then be provided with a number of results. And if you have this included in your business profile, that can help your business outrank the other business that does not have their menu information filled out. So you'll notice, and you probably already have this included, your menu URL, which will drive traffic to your website. That's great. But Google's goal here is to keep the consumer inside of the business profile without ever having to leave. Their goal is really to streamline the customer journey. And so if they can provide everything that consumer needs inside of the profile, that's their goal. That way that user or that consumer stays inside of the profile. So we would recommend making sure that you have included your menu URL to your website, because that can drive traffic and visitation to your site, but also include and fill out your menu inside of Google My Business. That way that information is there and easily accessible. So as a consumer, this is what it will look like for me looking at the profile. Oh, sweet, here's the menu. We have a title, we have a price point, good to go. Let's go get dinner there tonight. Okay, services, another great way to expand information. So if people are looking for specific services like a deep tissue massage while they're visiting, they can go ahead and type that into Google, deep tissue massage, St. Petersburg. Boom, click search. And if you have that included in your services, then it's likely that you are going to outrank your competitors if they've not included that information there. And the same thing goes for products. So if you have specific products, we're looking at some different examples here for touring businesses or a touring business. So they have historical tours, a rum tasting tour, a mixology class. This is a great way for businesses to really, again, expand that information from their profile and make sure that they're being found more often and more easily inside of Google search and Google Maps. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up pretty soon here, but we want to go through a quick optimization checklist. Remember to first claim your business and then verify it. If you have any troubles with verification, you can work with Visit St. Pete-Clearwater team on taking care of that. Download the Google My Business app. We'll get into why that's important in the second video here covering Google My Business, where we're going to talk about more in-depth opportunities, what you can do to really expand and continue managing a business profile that performs well inside of Google. And then add your business name if it isn't included already. Make sure it's spelled correctly. Don't forget that. Your address, phone numbers, websites, hours, more hours, special hours, your description, and then expand the information using the features available like service areas, categories and attributes, menus, services, and products. So I want to again thank the Visit St. Pete-Clearwater team. For more information, for any questions that you might have, be sure to reach out to their incredible team over there. If you do have any issues in the world of Google's, maybe specifically verification, again, let them know. They're a fantastic resource. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Hope you learned a couple things about what you can do to get started with managing an effective and optimized business profile inside of Google. So I look forward to the next video, and hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye.